Considering trainers and mentors is also a big part of success when it comes to establishing an onboarding program. So until you have an L&D team in place, so a learning and development team that's really going to focus on training itself and go deep there, you want to start considering who internally might be a good fit to be a trainer. Establishing somebody that has a passion for that and alignment is going to be crucial as well. So if somebody's not interested in training, but they know what they're talking about, still probably not a great idea for them to be the trainer because that might burn them out as well. You want to make sure there's alignment in career progression goals or just interest in being able to train. You also want to note that that person's going to be the first face that many new hires are going to be seeing in an onboarding session. So you want to make sure that that person knows their resources, knows about the company, and is able to be that first face for those employees, rather than maybe somebody who isn't as passionate about the training, but does do a great job. It's sort of the same conversation we have about folks that are really great in their role, but maybe might not be managers because they're not as interested in that people development facing side. You want to have that same kind of consideration. Is somebody really great at their role and able to teach it or coach it? Or is somebody really great at their role and maybe would be better suited to still be on an individual contributor and more focused on their own work and day to day? So start having those conversations, identify folks that might be interested. And then you want to also establish a mentor program. So oftentimes this can be in the best interest of both the mentor and the mentee. Maybe you have somebody on your team that you don't have that next role for them yet, but you know they're interested in growing into a people management role. And they would be a great person to step in and start taking on that mentorship. You also want to use this opportunity to document and see what are the questions that are being asked the most. Where are there the most pain points with the resources or gaps in the resources currently, and ask that mentor to be helpful in documentation and calling out any trends that they're seeing when they're bringing on new hires. Also, establishing collaborative norms is going to be crucial for you. So we all know that person who is the go-to for everything, that we say, oh, we can ask this person about this because they know what they're talking about this topic, this topic, this topic. And that is such a great person to have on the team. It's such a great skill set, but overburdening that person can not only burn them out, but also puts a burden on intellectual property in the sense that you might not have everything documented you need to, and you really should have more evergreen sources and self-accessible sources that folks can go to in place of putting more time on a calendar of somebody that's already overburdened and busy with questions in their own work. So have a shared document, a shared tool, a searchable resource, an internal wiki, whatever platform makes sense for you. Have some place that you can document FAQs and the responses there and have it be searchable, and then create the norm and make sure that folks feel comfortable to point people in the direction of searching on their own before asking somebody for questions. It's a delicate balance because you want people to know they have resources to go to, especially in a hybrid or remote work environment. You want people to have somebody to go to, hence the importance of mentorship, but you also want them to know where the resources are and be able to access them. And in a global workforce, in a workforce working across different time zones, different work preferences, this is more and more crucial than ever to have that documentation in place, have the norm that folks know where to go and how to search on their own. You also want to create a culture of continuous learning. So sharing resources, having teach back sessions, or even failure forums where you can say, hey, I made this mistake and this is what I learned from it. And having that collaborative environment is excellent. And it just establishes the norms of folks from all over the company sharing learning responsibility and teaching and coaching responsibility rather than it always having to come from the top. If you create that environment that people at all levels of the organization can be part of the learning process, you'll be all the more successful.